Former President Donald Trump is no stranger to controversy. His return to the White House has reignited debates on everything from trade to immigration. Now, Trump has shaken up the world stage again. His administration's proposed defense plan has sparked outrage, even among his own party. The heart of the issue? A radical reshaping of the United States' role in NATO, coupled with deep cuts to the Pentagon's budget. The proposed changes represent a fundamental shift in U.S. defense posture. They come at a time of heightened global tension, particularly with Russia's ongoing aggression in Ukraine. Trump's critics argue that these moves undermine U.S. leadership and embolden adversaries. Supporters, however, see it as a long-overdue recalibration of American power. A cornerstone of the Trump plan is a potential sea change in NATO's command structure. For decades, the Supreme Allied Commander Europe has been a U.S. general. This reflects America's leading role in the alliance since its inception after World War II. Trump's proposal would see this responsibility transferred to a European ally. The timeline for this transition remains unclear. Some reports suggest it could happen within the next 5 years, while others indicate a longer time frame of up to a decade. Regardless of the specifics, the symbolism is potent. It signals a potential drawdown of the U.S. commitment to European security. The proposed changes to NATO command are driven in part by a significant reduction in the Pentagon's budget. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, a Trump loyalist, has championed an 8% cut to military spending. This comes on top of broader government austerity measures implemented by Elon Musk, now heading what he calls the Department of Government Efficiency. These cuts have drawn sharp criticism from both sides of the aisle. Opponents argue that they weaken the U.S. military at a time of growing global threats. They point to Russia's increased assertiveness and China's military buildup as evidence that now is not the time for retrenchment. The backlash to Trump's defense plan has been swift and fierce, particularly from within his own party. Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi and Representative Mike Rogers of Alabama, the respective chairs of the Senate and House Armed Services Committees, have emerged as vocal critics. In a joint statement, Wicker and Rogers condemned the proposed changes, particularly the shift in NATO command. They argue that such a move would undermine U.S. global deterrence and send a dangerous signal to adversaries. They emphasize Congress's constitutional authority over military funding and demand greater transparency and consultation from the administration. Section 5. Trump's NATO Vision Conditional Defense and Allied Burden. Trump's stance on NATO has long been a source of concern for U.S. allies. Throughout his presidency, he repeatedly questioned the value of the alliance and criticized member states for not spending enough on defense. He has suggested that the U.S. might not come to the defense of NATO members who fail to meet their financial obligations. This America First approach to NATO has unsettled European allies who rely on the U.S. security umbrella. They worry that Trump's latest proposals, particularly the shift in Secure Command, represent a further erosion of American commitment to the alliance. Section 6. Expert alarm. Stavridis warns of U.S. withdrawal. Retired Admiral James Stavridis, a former Seycheur himself, has been among the most vocal critics of Trump's defense plan. He warns that relinquishing the Seycheur role would be a grave mistake, signaling a de facto U.S. withdrawal from NATO. Stavridis argues that such a move would embolden Russia and undermine European security. He believes it would be a geostrategic gift to Putin, allowing him to exploit divisions within NATO and weaken the Western alliance. Section 7. Military upheaval, loyalty over experience. Adding to the unease surrounding Trump's defense agenda is a recent shakeup in the military's top brass. In February 2025, Trump abruptly fired Air Force General C.Q. Brown, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Brown was the first black officer to hold the military's top position. Brown's dismissal, along with the firing of 5 other top generals and admirals, sent shockwaves through the Pentagon. Critics accused Trump of purging the military leadership of anyone deemed insufficiently loyal, regardless of their experience or qualifications. The timing of the firings, coming shortly after Trump's defense plan was announced, fueled speculation that the two were linked. Trump's choice to replace Brown further exacerbated concerns. He nominated retired Lieutenant General Dan Razin Kane, a staunch Trump supporter known for his hawkish views. This marked the first time a retiree had been appointed to lead the Joint Chiefs, raising concerns about civilian control of the military. Section 8, Russian aggression, a test for NATO unity. Trump's defense shakeup comes at a time of heightened tension with Russia. In March 2025, a Russian drone attack on the Ukrainian port of Odessa underscored the volatile security situation in Eastern Europe. The attack prompted condemnation from NATO and calls for a unified response. The incident served as a stark reminder of the challenges facing NATO. With Trump's commitment to the alliance already in question, the attack raised concerns about NATO's ability to deter further Russian aggression. Some analysts argue that Trump's rhetoric and actions have emboldened Putin, making him more likely to test NATO's resolve. Section 9. Global deterrence at a crossroads, the stakes of Trump's gamble. Trump's defense plan represents a gamble with potentially far-reaching consequences. By scaling back the U.S. role in NATO and cutting military spending, he risks weakening the Western alliance and emboldening adversaries like Russia and China. Critics argue that his actions could lead to a more unstable and dangerous world. The stakes are high both for the United States and for the international order it has led for decades. Whether Trump's defense shakeup will make America safer or put it at greater risk remains to be seen. One thing is certain, the world is watching closely.